It's 2026. For decades, we've been warned about a ticking clock, a point of no return for our planet. The fight against climate change was never going to be simple. So, where do we stand now? Has the world finally woken up, or are we sleepwalking towards disaster? This is the story of our climate, right now. Let's start with the good news, because there is plenty of it. In the last few years, we've witnessed a quiet revolution in green technology. Take fusion energy. Once the stuff of science fiction, pilot reactors are now demonstrating net energy gain, offering a tantalizing glimpse of a future powered by clean, virtually limitless energy. It's not mainstream yet, but the path is clearer than ever before. And it's not just futuristic tech. Look at our cities. Smart grids are no longer a niche concept. They're becoming the backbone of urban power distribution in dozens of major metropolitan areas. They intelligently manage energy flow from solar panels on our roofs and wind farms on the horizon, drastically reducing waste and our reliance on fossil fuels. In transportation, the shift to electric vehicles has hit a critical tipping point. Battery technology has leapt forward, bringing down costs and eliminating range anxiety for millions. Countries that were once hesitant are now building out charging infrastructure at a breakneck pace, driven by both policy and consumer demand. Speaking of policy, we've seen some nations emerge as true climate leaders. Scandinavia, for instance, is on the verge of achieving a fully decarbonized power grid, a decade ahead of schedule. They've done it through a smart mix of renewables, carbon pricing, and massive public investment. Costa Rica continues to be a shining example, running on over 98% renewable energy for years and now pioneering regenerative agriculture on a national scale. These aren't just isolated success stories, they are blueprints. They prove that a green transition is not only possible, but economically beneficial, creating jobs and fostering innovation. Perhaps the most powerful shift has been in public consciousness. The climate conversation is no longer confined to scientific journals or international conferences. It's happening at dinner tables, in classrooms, and on social media. A new generation, armed with information and a profound sense of urgency, is demanding action. This groundswell of public pressure has forced corporations and governments to take their climate pledges more seriously. We're seeing unprecedented levels of corporate accountability, with consumers choosing brands that prioritize sustainability and investors divesting from fossil fuels. This shift in public attitude is the engine driving much of the progress we see today. But for every step forward, it feels like we're being pushed 2 steps back. The reality of our global situation is complex and fraught with challenges. The biggest hurdle remains political will, or the lack thereof. In several key industrial nations, climate action has become a political football. Powerful fossil fuel lobbies continue to pour billions into campaigns that sow doubt and delay meaningful legislation. We see a frustrating pattern. A new government comes in with ambitious green promises, only to be stalled by partisan gridlock or replaced by a successor who reverses that progress. This political volatility creates uncertainty, scaring away the long-term investment needed for a full-scale energy transition. Then, there are the economic hurdles. While the cost of renewables has plummeted, the upfront investment to overhaul entire energy systems is staggering. For developing nations, the choice is often brutal. Do they invest in a coal plant that can provide cheap, reliable power today, or a solar farm that's cleaner but more expensive to build? The climate finance promised by wealthier nations to help bridge this gap has trickled in, but it's a fraction of what's truly needed. This has created a deep sense of injustice and mistrust, undermining the spirit of global cooperation that is so essential. As a result, while emissions have fallen in Europe and North America, they are still rising in parts of Asia and Africa, where economies are growing rapidly and the demand for energy is soaring. We're also witnessing the devastating consequences of the warming that's already locked in. The once-in-a-century storms, floods, and wildfires are now an annual occurrence. From the submerged coastlines of the Pacific Islands to the expanding deserts in Africa, communities on the front lines are paying the price for a problem they did little to create. These constant climate-related disasters drain resources, displace populations, and make it even harder for these regions to focus on long-term, sustainable development. It's a vicious cycle that threatens to undo decades of human progress. So, where do we go from here? The path forward in 2026 is balanced on a knife's edge. We are at a critical juncture where our decisions in the next few years will determine the kind of world we inhabit for centuries to come. The first and most critical action is to break the political deadlock. We need to make climate a non-negotiable, non-partisan issue. This requires relentless public pressure, holding our leaders accountable not for their words, but for their actions. We must demand policies that make polluters pay, that end fossil fuel subsidies once and for all, and that accelerate investment in green infrastructure. Second, we need a global financial reset. The wealthy nations of the world must deliver on their climate finance promises. This isn't charity, it's a down payment on a stable, shared future. We need mechanisms like debt for climate swaps and massive public-private partnerships to unlock the trillions of dollars required to fund a global green transition. We must help developing nations leapfrog the fossil fuel era and build clean, resilient economies from the ground up. This is not just a moral imperative, it's a matter of global security. Finally, we need to accelerate innovation and deployment on a scale we've never seen before. We have the technologies: solar, wind, energy storage, green hydrogen, and more. Now we need to deploy them with the urgency of a global emergency. This means slashing red tape, standardizing regulations, and fostering international collaboration on research and development. Every new home should have solar panels, every new car should be electric, and every dollar invested in energy should be a dollar invested in a clean future. So, is 2026 a story of progress or a story of failure? The truth is, it's both. We have made incredible strides, proving that a better, cleaner world is possible. The tools are in our hands, the blueprints exist, but we are also failing, held back by a lack of political courage, economic inequality, and the sheer inertia of the old system. We are running a marathon at a sprinter's pace, yet the finish line seems to keep moving further away. The question is no longer, can we solve this crisis? The question is, will we? This isn't a story that will be written by politicians or CEOs alone. It will be written by you, by me, by all of us. It will be written in the choices we make every day, the leaders we elect, and the future we demand. The clock is still ticking, louder than ever. Now is the time to act. Thank you for watching. If this story matters to you, please share it and subscribe for more content that explores the critical issues shaping our world. Together we can keep the conversation going.